Alright, so the cave bat and also a little bit of the Illuminant bat testing, just mainly this sort of partner skill where they collect the loot. So the first test I did was just to see what kind of passives you want on this pal if you're using it to collect the loot. So this is one without any sort of speed passives, collecting stone on one side of the base and then some stone on the other side of the base. And you can see it takes quite a while to actually go and collect the loot, and then it needs to catch up to you. So if you're less sort of like zooming around on a Gale Claw, on a jet dragon or anything like that, they will probably struggle to keep up with you. It depends a little bit on if you're like chunking a lot of areas or enemies in the same area, like an enemy base or something like that. But if you're traveling quickly along the oil rig, they will probably struggle to keep up with you. And this is the second cave bat here with Swift and Runner, and it actually takes the exact same amount of time. So the passives for these, it doesn't matter if you're running any sort of move speed passives. So if I were to breed these for this purpose of collecting loot now, I would probably just go Vanguard, Stronghold Strategist, and then kind of whatever. Like you can go the Noble Find first, the Motivational Leader, Mining Foreman, just any sort of pass you like really. It won't affect this collecting loot thing at all. And they also don't get like targeted by enemies or damaged at all, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, so before I go ahead and breed Stronghold Strategist, Vanguard, Noble, Find First, whatever kind of bats that I would have preferred, I'm just gonna test the mechanic out a little bit in the Terraria dungeon and then maybe one of the oil rigs just to see kind of if it's worth breeding this sort of pal. So we're just gonna go in and just kind of roam around, shoot some of the jars or the pottery stuff, shoot a couple of pals and just see if they manage to collect a couple of these like hallowed bars for me. We have the bats. Are they collecting? Yeah, one of them is. Let's see, can the Terra Prisma do a little bit as well? So they seem to be flying around, but they are pretty slow. So I feel like the downside here is it would probably just be faster for me to go and collect the loot like this than to wait for them to do it. Like waiting for that one. Maybe they'll pick up some of the stuff that I missed. Let's shoot a couple of jars here. Well, that doesn't seem to be working. Maybe they don't pick stuff up from jars? They're probably not called jars, but I'm just gonna call them that right now. And now they're just stuck watching stuff. We got one stuck over there, one there, one there. They're not picking anything up right now. See here. Pick some stuff up. Now they're just stuck. If I pick it up then. Yeah, they're there. So it's kind of like they get frozen looking at one piece of loot until you yourself loot it, and then maybe they will go and pick up some other loot. Let's see. Just gonna run past all these towards the end boss and see how they interact over there. There we go. And we got the loot. Pick up the loot. One bat is missing as well. And that one is just looking at something. Can you pick up the loot for me here? What if we go away a bit? No. So we lost one of the bats. It's stuck somewhere in the cave. One bat is looking at the wall. And these two are following along. Are you gonna pick up the loot now? Is that what you're doing? I went out of range and came back. Yeah, it picked up one of them. Do I need to do that again? We go out. We come back into range. Or when are you gonna pick it up? No, I pick it up. Okay, so that bat was locked onto that thing and it was staring at the wall. So overall, they are quite buggy, and yeah, one bat is still missing. It's somewhere in the cave here. Hello? No? Okay, we lost one bat. I'm gonna go try out the oil rig, because what happened at the oil rig was that I think the processing just got really crazy there. And everything started lagging when I was using Floppy. But that was on my old PC before I upgraded. So maybe it was just too weak. So let's just head to the oil rig and check that one out. Alright, so I'm just gonna head out to the old oil rig just to try them out, see if they can loot some stuff. If I just let the Terra Prisma go wild, you can now just fly out straight away here. Got some loot on the ground already that they might be able to pick up. That one's angry. Okay, so let's just... Okay, I think you can see already that it is lagging. Hopefully, this is not like the recording software. This is just exactly what happened when I was here with Floppy as well. So it seems to be some sort of processing bug, because this is also... Okay, now it seems better. Better? A bit? Nah. Okay, it's not my PC being bad this time. I can't blame my PC anymore. I can only blame these cave bats. When I look... Yeah, there's... One of them is stuck there. One of them is heading over. Not sure what happened to the two blue ones. They're somewhere. Okay, now it seems to be better again. Okay, seems pretty good. Let's head over here. There's a lot of enemies over here. Stuff we can shoot. But we've lost the bats. The bats are gone. I think there's one of them over there. There's one coming over. The others are gone. So not really working super well right now. It's similar to Floppy. Like, this wasn't an issue on release, I think. This issue came about sometime during Sakurajima, like on the release of the oil rigs, and then never really got fixed, because I used to use Floppy quite a bit when just dungeon farming and stuff, but it is this. It is a frame rate drop, it is a bit laggy, and sometimes the stuttering is just insane, and they're also not really collecting anything. I got one loot there, one little oil to the left, opening a chest. But my bats are gone. We got one bat left. Can we find the others? Let's go, Jetrigan. Where are you? Let's find my bats. Here's one. Stuck in there. Where are the others? Are they down here? Maybe they're trying to like head up the stairs? Okay, there they are. There's two of them. They just came back. But it is very laggy. Now it's good again. And then it just gets really choppy. So overall, I think I'm just gonna end it here. I'm not gonna spend any time breeding the Vanguard Stronghold Strategist cave bats just yet. Until they fix this extreme frame rate drop that you're seeing right here. This is from the cave bats. This doesn't happen if you don't have the cave bats with you. This lag right here. So that's probably it for this video. The cave bats, a bit of a shame. Like the concept itself. Can we get out of this noise for 1 second? The concept itself is pretty cool. Like having these auto-looting things, especially when you're like storming the oil rig, just having one of them with you. Like the idea is nice, but just doesn't really work right now. So they're kind of like the herbal raid army right now. They're just kind of failing at what I want them to do. But you can probably use them for like normal overworld exploring, but as mentioned in the Troya dungeon, it is faster to just run over there and grab the loot yourself. So maybe like when leveling, if you have a free slot, yeah, you might as well. It will pick up some random loot that you might have missed. But I can't really recommend using these pals or Floppy at all, really. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.